name is Hamza, and I'm from the city of Tracy, California. And my research question is: Can you make a equation to predict weather? So the answer is yes, because math plays a big role in forecasting weather, and like using math models like from the weather in the oceans, you can predict weather based on the average and current weather conditions. And a math weather model with principles, so they can solve large number of complex equations and like over all the world, and they can solve many things like temperature, wind speed, and much more. And the year in 1980, math was the base method used to find the weather. It was used most of the time to predict weather. So there are 7 basic equations that represent spatial and temporal atmosphere motion and energy, and much more.
Okay, that's great. Azika, can you start?
The equation
Okay.
The equation is really long, so it's going to be kind of hard to
Alright, so Azika is going to show us certain slides. Azika, go ahead.
There are not so many, so it's just I try to fit it.
Okay, introduce yourself first.
Hello, my name is Hazika Asim, and I am from the city of Tracy, and I go to Tracy Independent City Charter School. And this is my question is how math is used in weather predictions and mathematics, and can it be used to predict weather? Calculus is used. It's part of the meteorologist training. The ability to solve problems with calculus differentiates meteorologists from weather readers. So they they use calculus to predict the direction and intensity. So storms, they can predict the direction of storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, and even cyclones. And this is helpful because once you know this, you can help people who are going through storms, hurricanes. It will help the community to stay away from it. And there's a formula that's here on the right side. So they use this formula for predicting the weather, and so basically numerical pyramids. They use physics and physics and physics has math part of it, so you have to apply conservation of momentum, thermal energy equation, and continuity equation. So you need to apply these some of these math principles to predict weather, and before people used to just calculate with by looking at the sky, but now the calculation has become more advanced because they use math to find out and predict the weather. The atmospheres are controlled by the laws of physics, and physics has equations which are expressed through mathematical equations. These equations are system of coupled nonlinear partial differential equations, also known as PDEs. So they use Newton's laws of motion and principles of conservation of energy and mass and velocity. So there's also calculus is also being used, and also Newton's laws are being used, and Newton's laws are not just words; they're equations, and I and there, we need to solve using equations for velocity, mass. So this is what I came up with right now.
That's great. This is, you have covered a lot of things, some complicated things as well, in a small presentation. That's great job, Azika. And Hamza, you also provided us with valuable information. Just remember, students, that whenever, whatever be the subject is, whatever be the course you are taking, you should be able to connect that with the real life, and there is always a connection between whatever the studies which we have. We have developed these courses, we have explored different sciences, and the reason is that at the end of the day, it should be able to provide us with solutions, and the feasible solutions, and also, uh, you know, for example, if you are studying mathematics, physics, chemistry, economics, business, whatever the subject is, and if we can't provide the solutions to our problems, it means that we are failed to apply that knowledge for the betterment of the world and resolve problems. For example, remember, mathematical equations, from very simple equations to very advanced level of equations, uh, and for example, the Newton's calculation laws, different ways of different methods of calculus, everything, from the simple to the advanced level equations, are basically going to relate some variables in some order with some magnitude, and likewise the weather equations, for example, can be very simple, it can be very difficult and complex as well. If you keep the equations simple, of course the weather predictions and the predictions which you make may not be very accurate. But if you refine your equations and making it more complex, add more variables to it, of course the weather prediction will be much more accurate in that. So this is uh, the first research project I gave you, and we try to develop in our next video what kind of an equation we can develop a very simple type of equation to predict, and the weather, or climatic changes, or weather conditions, in simple words, in a particular region. Let me tell you that the traditional Pakistani people, because they are not very literate, of course, in the towns, small towns and villages, they used to do the uh, climatic prediction, weather predictions, just basis on their sixth senses, and they can sense that there will be rain coming, or there is a storm coming. And very interestingly, I tell you that some of the people who are not very literate, there was a tradition that they put their ear on the ground and feel the ground. Maybe they are thinking about the heat of the ground, or some movement inside the ground, and by that they can predict that what is going to happen. Maybe there is a you know uh, uh, heavy rain is coming, or a dry season is coming, so they predict like that also. So there will always be some very traditional methods which will still be effective. Okay, so this was basically a session. I really like it. I like your efforts. Okay, see you inshallah. Thank you.